Hey YouTube, this is That Childfree Guy. Thank you so much for joining me and spending your time with me. I have a interesting read here. Now, empty nesters. Now, I am completely child free. I will always have the empty nest because I will not have kids, apparently. But what happens when the children are grown up and they always say, well, now it's their turn to take care of you? But this is an interesting vantage point here. I'm an empty nester. Where's my mom group now? When my boys were little, Tuesdays were my favorite days. This was the day when my group of moms would get together for tea and sympathy, gossip, and cookies. It was the truest, realest day of my entire week. Back then, I worked a dinner shift in a local restaurant, and Tuesday was my day off. My two younger boys had afternoon kindergarten, and the two older boys were in school. Laura, my closest mom friend, would host us, and I used to use some of my tips from the weekend to buy ingredients for cookies that I would bake and bring along for our morning. There was usually between 4 and 6 of us, some with babies and some with high school age kids, and some like me with little ones playing in her playroom while we talked. And oh, how we talked. Most of us barely knew each other beyond those Tuesday mornings, but no one was a stranger. I knew about Jane and her cracked nipples, and Stephanie and her daughter's temper tantrums. I knew about Sylvia and the horrible time she was having with her mother and the constant fights Bev was having with her husband now that she had gone back to work part-time. There was no such thing as small talk. Even if we were all talking about movies or TV or what we were making for dinner or how tired we were, or where of making dinner, or where we should get takeaway pizza because we decided not to make dinner. Everything we said to each other was easy and important, and most of all, understood. We understood each other deeply those Tuesday mornings. Sadly, as the kids got older, we drifted apart. The funny thing is, I think we needed each other even more during those years, when our problems with our kids got more darker or more nuanced, or when our worries rather than our feeding schedules kept us up at night. Instead of little kids trying to sneak extra cookies into the playroom, we had teenagers sequestered behind closed doors, leaving us all grappling with feeling alone in a house full of children. I can't quite remember when we stopped calling each other to commiserate. Maybe it was the fading away of our shared schedules, or maybe it was the fear of judgment or of rejection, because judgment came swifter once the kids hit double digits. How awful it would have been to call these women, the same people I trusted to get me through my kids breaking bones and multiple rounds of head lice and my divorce, and hear that awful silence. The kind that says, "You've done it wrong. My kids would never do that. I cannot understand a thing about you anymore." I tried to make mom groups happen as my kids got older. I called them different names like book club or outdoor yoga or bonfire Wednesdays, but really, I was trying to get those Tuesdays back. I'd even tried shoehorning myself into other mom groups whose friends had their kids later in life. It doesn't work. They're still in the thick of things, and I am not. I haven't been for a long time. My sons are grown men now, and one of them is getting married this summer, and I need that mom group back more than ever. I have friends, of course, but some of them are still the very same mom friends from my early years of motherhood. I can still text them a photo of the mother of the groom dress and ask, "Too much boob?" And they'll text me back with a link of a tasteful camisole. We'll grab drinks or hike or a night out when we can. Maybe this Tuesday will be one. Maybe. So I think that this is a very interesting perspective here because I never thought about the empty nester and how, or at least she's not an empty nester, they're just older kids. The village of moms that she wished she'd had just kind of faded away as the kids grew up, as do a lot of people when they have parents on one side and non-parents on the other. It can be really tough and difficult because of the difference in life experience. So I really think that this was a great way for us to show that even between parents, it can still feel like a divide is there that a divide is there that I never really knew could exist between parents. I personally think that, and I know that when we talk about child free versus parent, we often think about, the child free person doesn't want to go on a kid friendly activity every weekend, but the parents are like, we want kid friendly activities so we can bring our kids. But here she is with her parent group, and they're also having that drifting away. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for spending it with me. It's about 6 minutes long. The intro will add about another minute to it. But thank you for spending that time with me. I really appreciate you. Have a great day, and tell me what you think of what we just read. Have a good day.